Welcome back, folks, to the
Hey, babe. Yeah, we're live right now. No, you're good. The Bo showed up though. Dylan, go ahead. Get this started. Okay, I will, babe. I love you. Bye. Sorry, man. The wife
Folks,
calls, you
this
gotta
is-
answer it, man.
This is the results of people, consuming alcohol. They have no regard for others in the same room as them, or maybe even starting a live podcast because their cognitive function has been lower. Most people in a clear mind would understand not to take a phone call while on a live podcast, but I can understand for the reason of having fun that it is a better decision to consume the alcohol. All right, so with that being said, welcome to the CBC Down and Back podcast, the #1 podcast with the name Down and Back based off of CBC AI meta-analysis. Folks, we have the most views in any videos with a podcast named Down and Back. So with that being said, I just want to thank you guys for coming in.
Dylan,
the fans and support that we have
You're
is just
too much.
absolutely incredible. And the name itself derived from the fans. If you also have a name or think that there's a name like this, it's incredible that you do what you do to support us.
Thank you very much for coming up with a name. Although we have heard today, which we are going to get into a little bit later, that there may be another podcast that is called the CBC Down and Back Pod. Oh, wait, they're not called the CBC Down and Back Podcast. My bad.
You misspoke.
My bad.
Yep.
But I misspoke. But there is another podcast called something along the lines of that, correct?
Oh, yeah.
And we will talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff.
I support it. Anything that has...
I support it, too.
You know what's funny is it's like if you meet somebody that has the name Bill, how excited are you?
I Bill squared.
Right, but if it comes to a business or a company, there's animosity, right? And you and I are like, dude, we love anybody. If your podcast has the same name as my podcast, we got to be friends. We got to get this person on. Whoever runs this other Down and Back podcast, I think they're Canadian. I really don't know. But we need to have them on because
I would
we
love
have
to have
similar views.
I would love to have them on, number one. Number two, I hope somebody comes up with another bag company called CBC, and I want the name to be Cornslangin Bag Company.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think that the Canadian Broadcasting Company also has beef with us because of our name being CBC.
That could be.
We've received some hate mail in the past.
That could be.
You know?
It
And Leslie Fox says, I want a Sankin and Drenkin jersey.
Leslie, dude, you know how old this is?
The limited run on these is insane. Show on the back, Bill. I mean, it's a clean looking. It's got a lot of sponsors on it, but this thing is clean, son.
Leslie, this is so old.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
shout out to I can't even remember Colton's last name.
CBC wasn't even around prior to. This has been there for a while, brother. Maybe we should do another run of those, though. Another run of
something similar.
Yeah.
I don't want to take away from what Colton Gibbs gave us. What's funny is he birthed a Sankin. We've talked about this before, but if you're new here or you haven't heard the story, Colton Gibbs just wanted another night of cornhole that was based on really getting a little blitzed and having fun. And it doesn't even have to involve, it eventually turned into not even having to involve drinking. It's just, let's be relaxed, right? Like, let's hang out and make this less competitive than the other blind draws or tournaments you see. And now our Friday night tournament has been called Sankin and Drinkin' for 3 or so years now. And when Colton made it,
I think it's like 4 now.
when Colton made it, it was like the first grouping was like 6 people, and then like 8, and then like probably 2 months of less than 16 people. When we were averaging 40 on our Mondays and Wednesday nights, and then it just grew and grew and grew, and then it became the most popular night on Friday nights.
Yeah, Colton moved out to Texas and left it up to Mr. Justin Eldridge to run Sankin.
I think it was Tori first, right?
Okay,
Tori became the Prez, El Prez.
Yeah, El Presidente. Yeah, Sankin and Drinkin's got some good roots, man. It's a lot of fun. This is, I believe, the only jersey they've ever made for it. But Leslie, that's a great idea, and we may do another jersey for it.
You didn't show the what the
arms. What is that? The Yeeter 1000.
Yeeter 3000.
Yeeter 3000 over it.
And that's just an airmail. We were calling Yeeter 3000s.
Yeah.
Airmails Yeeter 3000s, and Sankin and Drinkin was its own thing. A lot of like me, you, Colton, Tori, Zach Rush, right? even Dakota, right? Zach and Colton's friend was a part of that. It was, dude, that was a good time.
It's a good time. It's a very good time.
Yeah.
Jamie Smith, what up? Leslie, what up? Stephanie, what's going on? Shannon, good to see you in here. Shannon, I saw you on the winner's circle a few times.
Oh, yeah, she's in there. She could have been in there more, to be honest. Shannon, I left out a few of your pictures just because you're in there too much, Shannon. And the people are going to get jealous, and we don't want to deter them
I gotta
away.
go. I gotta go. Do you see this? What do you want me to do?
Phone, table, front porch, don't forget. Bill, just do your tasks. You have duties in this house.
Okay, folks, Dylan gets very nervous when I'm not here.
No, I don't.
He gets very nervous when I'm not here, and he tries to talk and continue to talk and stuff like that. So be easy on him. Be easy on him.
All right, folks, Bill's going to step out. We're pretty used to this based on past weeks. So
Dude, get out of my chair.
we'll just resume as normal pretty much, because at this point I think there's been more weeks that Bill's been gone than he's been here in the last month or so. So we'll get into the winner's circle, folks. We don't have any upcoming tournaments. Worlds is on the horizon, and then we have multiple different topics that you guys brought up on the CBC Facebook page today. So we're just going to get into all those comments and kind of address them, as well as the our friends, the other Down and Back podcast. So let's start with the winner's circle, folks. So these folks right here, let me get this out of the way. These folks right here took a top 3 with CBC bags in the last week or so. So we want to congratulate everybody who's done that. And if you take a top 3 with CBC bags, send it in to us, tag Cornslingers Bag Company, and we will do our best to get you on the podcast. We have a rough 96.3% rate of getting the viewers on. Number 1, Eric Hoppy Jans. Hoppy Jans.
He's on here 5 times.
Yeah, Hoppin' Jans has been really killing it since he started throwing Ronins. I believe if there's when people have fitness stories of I used to be this and now I'm this, Hoppy should be like a highlight reel of 7th and 5th places and 9th places, and then I transferred to CBC and it's like first place.
Always first place. Dude, Hoppy's on here so many times it's not even funny. Shannon, you got some competition. That's all I'm saying, dude. Hoppy is he's cleaning up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Hoppy, I mean, he was almost the monster cornhole champion, right? And I don't know how many blind draws Jordan Kasinger had to win this, but because Hoppy's running some nights, he's playing 3 dang blind draws in a night. Yeah. They got low numbers and they'll just run them back. Run them back. It's a flaw in the system for Monster Cornhole because the tiebreaker is who has the most blind draw wins.
Okay.
Right? So you can kind of just spam them. There's which is good. Monster Cornhole's going to have to work through its own shenanigans of people trying to bend the rules, right? Find the gray areas.
Shannon, I don't know who that is, Shannon. I have no idea.
We need a grudge match on this. I want it handicapped for one.
Yes, handicap between Shannon and
Roberts.
Hoppy.
Actually, anybody
I
who
doubt
has
there's a handicap between them.
I'd like to do a tournament of winner circle best of the bests handicapped. Right, you have Nate Allen in there. You got Hoppy. You've got a guy from
Grayville. World. I bet you we could get 10 sets of boards. We don't even need 10.
We don't need 10.
But I bet you he gets sets of boards, and anybody that has won with CBC, I bet you we could do a free tournament or something like that.
That would be a lot of people.
That would be so much fun at Worlds once a year.
Handicap tournament.
Dude, I'm calling Frank tomorrow.
CBC Winner's Circle best of the CBC Winner's Circle something tournament, right?
I already told my mom about this idea. Next, I got to tell Frank.
Okay. Yeah, great. That is the succession. This is the chain of command in Bill's life. Frank,
I've already told my mom. We're going to talk to Frank about this.
The CBC chat is actually in between there, obviously, right?
Exactly.
The people are in between.
All right,
Ollie, what up, baby?
Derek tried to fix this picture. They did it themselves, okay?
Yeah, this was phone Photoshop, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's something like
Photoshop.
that. Yeah. They left a 3-pixel what is it called?
Highlight?
No, it's like
outline?
you expand by a certain amount of pixels between the cut, and that's what they did.
Winner Circle Death Match Tournament is what Nate Allen says. Michael Ashton says, how do I qualify? You just have to win with CBC bags and then show
And
up
then
at
show up at
Worlds.
Worlds. Yeah.
That is it. When will we have time to do this? We have no idea. So it's going to have to be impromptu. You guys are going to have to be on your toes.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much how it's going to work.
It may be after they crown the king of cornhole, just to show that this is the big event.
Oh, it is the after party. The after party is, it's like an encore to Worlds, is the CBC Winter Circle.
Colin
Death
Frank
Match.
tomorrow.
Gosh. And the CBC the other Down and Back podcast will also be there for a one-on-one rights to the name Down and Back.
We're streaming it for the rights that, yeah. Hopefully the other Down and Back podcast is there, or the Down and Back podcast. We are CBC Down and Back podcast, but it is what it is.
We're all just doing Down and Backs.
Dude, Seth.
Furlong with
Killing
the
it.
Phoenixes. Always.
Old school Phoenixes too, killing it.
Always.
I don't know who your buddy is there, Seth. I don't know who he is, but he's pointing at you like you carry the freaking games. That's what I'm talking about, Seth. You're the man, dude. Congrats, big dog.
Hoppy
I told you it's
and
gonna be
Shane
a-
Gobin. That's Envy's right there, though.
Yeah.
He just got those.
It's the Hoppy show tonight, dude. I'll tell you. I
Hoppy
think
and
Derek
Shannon,
threw a
right?
couple of them out, even. Yeah, Derek definitely threw one of Shannon's out because she won knockout twice. Twice.
Yeah, she's a stud.
Shannon's killing it, dude.
Yep.
She's killing it. Congrats, Hoppy and Shane and
Oh,
Kane.
and
He's there
and-
too.
yeah.
Let's go. All right.
oh, that was Sean Scott. I don't even recognize Sean Scott without a hat on. That was actually crazy.
Wait, who's Sean Scott?
Right there. I honestly, if that's actually Sean Scott, I don't even believe it. Do you believe that?
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Chris Norris says Sean Scott. So we have two halfway reliable sources in the chat saying that it's Sean Scott.
Who is the other one that said it?
Hoppy.
Okay, so we have 1.5 reliable sources.
Don't divulge who's the half.
We'll
Make
never
it
we'll
aside,
never
yeah.
know. We'll never know.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
all right. Congrats, guys. There he is again.
Hoppy and Dragon Slayer. Let's
Dragon
move on.
Slayer. No, I just want to say Dragon Slayer. One of these days, I'll give you a shot again at the title. Okay? Just not today, brother. Just not today.
Hoppy did text that to me and told me Bill's gonna love who my partner was for the podcast.
Dude, I love it. Dude, Dragon Slayer's the man. He's the man.
Chip Brown and
Chip.
Russ Carlisle getting it done with the Envies.
Dude, Chip won't even hold up the bags, man.
No, Chip does throw some CBC bags though. We've seen him plenty of times
Mhm.
throwing CBC bags. Chip, is he a former ACO pro or still an ACO pro? I'm really unsure. He
I don't
at
know.
one time
Yeah.
for sure was an ACO pro.
Yeah.
Within the last
He
like,
can throw
2
good.
seasons. Oh,
He
yeah.
can throw good.
Oh yeah,
So,
100%.
yeah, congrats,
Congrats.
fellas. That's what I'm talking about. Next one, Sin Lee.
Sin Lee, his partner, he actually texted me his partner's
Yeah,
name.
I don't know him.
Yeah, I don't know him either, but I will get it for us. Sin and Wang.
Sin and Wang. Throwing the carbons out there.
Yeah, those look like
What
choke
is it?
carbons.
828 baggers. Yeah, carbons. It's crazy because he loved the Phoenixes and now he switches back and forth, man. He's awesome. That's what I'm talking about. Hoppy says former pro there. Justin Hollis. What up, big dog? Dustin.
in the chat.
I haven't
What up?
seen you in forever, dude. What's going on, Dustin?
There's Choa right there with the Phoenixes.
Okay.
This is Choa and John. I haven't even seen them throw those Phoenixes. That's one of my favorite colorways we did for the minimal Phoenix is what
Yeah.
we call it. The minimalist Phoenix. It's like
I
a
think it
pink
was like
and
an ad
turquoise.
hoc. Yeah.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Should we bring up the new graphic?
We could.
No, we don't have to. I'm
Right.
just excited about it, dude. Do you
It is
like that?
exciting.
You want one of those printed, right?
Yeah. I like it. Yeah. It's unfortunate we didn't do it for year one because we could have one for every year.
I
Oh, we
know.
did do one for year one because like
DJ.
Bagman.
DJ.
Yeah. So we actually have done it.
We have.
So as long as we finish this set before season 21 ends, we have done jersey designs for the bags.
On the bags, yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's super clean, especially at a match.
Yep.
We would look a little crazy out here, though, because the boards match also.
Yeah, it'd be a little wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Timmy Key getting it done with the Ronins. Timmy's the man.
I think Timmy's in here twice, man. I think
Timmy
he's
just
in here
got another
twice.
set
He's
of
throwing
bags
good.
going his way, didn't he? Yeah, pretty
Congrats,
sure.
Timmy. That's what I'm talking about, man. Keep it up. Keep killing it, brother.
Timmy.
There he is.
Yeah.
There he is, right
You
there.
got it.
Timmy's got it. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know who your partner is, though. Do you know?
Is that not, that's, what's his name?
I put you on the spot. That was my fault.
Sean Phelps, I think.
Sean. Oh, is that really?
Yeah.
That's Phelps?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
If
Somebody
it
tell
is.
me.
Yeah.
Somebody tell me.
David's here. David Jones. Yeah. Dave knows. What's going on, DPJ? It's good to
He
see
wants
you,
to
man.
see the bag. Yeah, we'll probably show it. We'll probably show it. Give us a second here.
Aaron, you're off to the Pitch Palace to practice, man. I wish I could practice against you, dude. I'm coming for you next year, man. I'll put that out there.
All right.
I'll put it out there.
This is I'm pretty sure it's Bagger Bill on the left. This is Gray Bill territory right here.
Mm-hmm.
California boys. So that is Bagger Bill and Todd half price. Taking it down. I told you.
Okay, it is. It is Sean Phelps. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Right here we got Bagger Bill and Sean half price. Love it. Throwing the Envies.
I like it. Congrats, fellas. Envy's great bag. Oh, he's holding two of them up there. Look at that.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Dan the man.
Yep. And Ashley right there. Getting it done with the Ronins. Those are custom Marilyn Monroe Ronins. Marilyn Monroe and Ronins.
When are we going to give Dan another shot?
Dan, the last time we played him, he just had a rough showing. He throws better than that.
Well, he played against me, and a lot of people get nervous when they play against me, especially Hoppy.
One person put it in the chat if you get nervous when you play Bill. Nate Allen actually should. If Nate Allen doesn't, he's lying. So I will give you credit. We can use the term some people get nervous when they play Bill. Because if Nate doesn't agree that he gets nervous, he's lying. Because after that whooping you put on him at the same tournament we're talking about.
Look, they were up 13-0, but that's when I turn on, dude. 13-0, there's no more BSing, man.
Yeah, it was Nate and Jerry. They were up 13-0 on us and didn't score another point.
Yeah. Or maybe it was 13-2, something like that. Gavin Ira said I'd have a few Bill bags against Bill. That's what I'm talking about. All right. We got next Jamie Smith and Brandon Lacewell.
Getting it done with the Ronins.
Taking the first place with the Ronins. I love it. That looks like a fat stack of cash, too. What is that, $200 bills in each hand there?
And a hat and some wood.
That's what I'm freaking talking about. That is a day. Congrats guys. That must have been a big tournament. Congrats.
Bink, did we show this? Yeah, me and Bobby, I did talk about this.
Did you?
This might have rolled over, but I did win, folks. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Show up and win. I just beat Bill and Derek on the sidewalk, throwing a completely different way.
Sing. Why would anybody get nervous against putting? Hey, show up.
If you don't know, if you haven't played Bill or seen him play, he does. If you don't know him, his look could be intimidating. I mean, because he's straight face. His head doesn't move. He gets in a stance and he becomes purely mechanical.
He's trying to get in my head right now for future
put it in
games.
the chat. Put it in the chat. I'm telling you, anybody that's seen Bill throw knows that he gets this straight face and then he goes mechanical, son.
People do say robot. Sometimes I gotta look like we're friggin'. It's funny.
Oh, Nate funny. Tagging in as Alana Johnson said, "This is Nate. I'm terrified of Bill." I mean, like I said, so we can confirm that some people are nervous to play Bill. We actually have two in the chat.
I'm talking about Nate. You'll never beat me, dude. Never.
Zach Rush, son, getting it done with some
I'm
carbon.
just joking, Nate. You can, dude. You throw great. Yeah, Zach Rush. I think Zach's back.
Zach is back.
I think he's back this next season.
Good.
He's been talking. I talked to him on the phone. He may be back, dude. Zach Rush ended number 20-something and then top 10.
Yeah, I think he did have a 9 or something.
Yeah, I think it was 9.
Yeah, Zach's a stud.
He took this last year off. He may be back, dude. Zach's the man.
Molly says locked in. Shayna Roberts says Billbot. Justin Duke in the chat. What up, Duke? Come out to Worlds and requalify, brother. I'm telling you, it'll be worth it considering you get to play in the Pro Series next year. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway from qualifying to be pro, is that you get to play in the Pro Series events.
Yeah.
Free to play with, pretty big upside.
I mean, you should come out regardless and play some of the tailgaters.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't have 100 points.
You should still come out.
That's a good call, Jarrett. If Duke doesn't have 100 points, then he can't play. I'm starting to believe Bill. He is my kryptonite. How many times have you beat on Nate? Or is this a result of one showing?
No,
Nate, don't count yourself out after one showing.
No. I played Nate a few times.
Okay, a few times. All right.
Nate's always trying to get me at a major when I haven't played in 3 days. And it's like Sunday, and I'm like, Nate, I gotta go home. And he's like, one game, Bill, in the parking lot, blah, blah. And it's like, Nate, I'm not letting you have this win like this.
Yeah.
He'll get the win. He will get the win. He's throwing really good. So I like it, Nate. You'll be all right. Terry Crumb.
Yeah, Terry Crum in the background here. I don't know what he won with those Ronins right there. Is that Bubba Nash there too?
Vernon.
Bubba
yeah.
Nash.
Bubba Vernon Nash. Yeah, that's what we call him.
I like to call him Bubba Nash.
Bubba Nash is a good name, dude.
Bill.
What did I do?
Oh, folks, I wish we could turn the camera right now.
Okay, don't laugh. Don't laugh, folks. I've met these neighbors one time. I've played not every day, but a lot of days outside. Look, I'm moving the camera.
Oh,
this is gonna be bad.
Don't move the camera. But they're setting up boards in their backyard right now, folks. They're practicing to come out and possibly try to whoop us.
Dude,
right. If they're still playing after we get off the podcast, we might need to go over there.
Yeah. There's some Wally World boards over there.
Yeah, we're gonna make some money off these people. Don't tell them about the podcast, folks. Don't tell them about this podcast.
He's a lieutenant in the Army, so we're already boys.
Send them to the other Down and Back podcast. They don't know. What kind of bags we got? Are those Titan?
Did you just say send them to the other Down and Back?
No, blue and red bags, folks. You know it. Blue and red bags. Plain blue and red bags.
$8 special from Walmart, dude. I love it. Look. What I love
Let's
about
see the
this
technique, folks.
is
I wish we could turn this camera for you guys.
We can.
Funny. Well, you think you could get it back to where it is? I'm worried about the cord stretching. Oh, that guy's got a flat bag, Bill.
Does he? Let me look. Folks.
Okay, she's terrible, but you got to watch this guy. Oh yeah, he's got potential, Bill. What are we doing here?
Wait, it's all green.
Oh, the grass.
The grass. You can't see it.
You can't see the grass because of the grass. You haven't seen this guy's bag.
Folks, I'm sorry. You can't see it because of the green.
Yeah, that's tough now, but we got to fix the camera.
It's fixed.
Looks like they're having a little bit of swing oil, Bill. What's he got there? No, maybe. It's in a glass.
Dude, I love it. I've met these neighbors before. They never spoke anything about cornhole whatsoever, that they liked it, that they didn't like it, anything like that. They see me outside playing all the time. They have to. And now they're out there playing. I think he wants to come over next 4th of July for the freaking party.
They didn't measure, but the distance looks pretty close.
Yeah, they did good. All right, let's go. Terry Crumb, next one here. Dude, this is it right here. B-Rad, I know you're in here, B-Rad. You better be in here. Derek dressed you up. Look at that, dude. You got the freaking Superman cape on. This is his first win ever with his dad. Yeah,
that's really cool.
That's what's freaking awesome about it. I love it. I love that you made him play your freaking elixirs, getting out there, and you took it down.
B-Rad probably carried the whole tournament.
I think so, too.
Oh,
yeah. B-Rad doesn't throw bad, dude.
No, definitely not. He's got a flat, back-loaded bag.
I'm worried about playing against B-Rad.
Yeah, you should be nervous to play B-Rad for sure.
Justin Duke got me with the high fade today. Yeah, I said medium, but it is a little high.
I would consider that.
It is a little high. It's not high and tight.
No.
But it's
a medium to high fade. Yeah.
That's okay. Look, after 2 weeks ago, man, they messed me up. I had to get it fixed. Had to.
Yeah, I go low fade when I get a haircut. Low skin fade. Because you don't even do the skin. You just do medium fade.
Yeah, 1.5. Start with a 1.5 on the way up.
Yeah, I like a skin fade.
Yeah.
Like
what did Sing Sing say? I've not been able to play the last 2 years because I hurt my back and I have to have neck surgery, dude. Wish I was still playing. Miss y'all. Hey, man, that stinks, dude. That's terrible. I hope you get better. I hope you can come back on the courts, man.
All right, once again, congrats, B-Rad. Bill, let's move us through here.
I know, dude. I'm just happy. I don't know what's in his hand. What did Derek put in his hand?
I don't know.
But that's the money. I love it. Congrats, B-Rad. That's what I'm talking about, dude. You and I will play some Fortnite later.
Jordan Kirk, son. Getting it done with the J Money bags.
I love it. I love it.
Jordan and Jamie, I don't know, but he's looks like Justin Duke a little bit.
What, because he's bald?
He actually looks a lot more like Joel Huff. Yeah, I mean, anybody bald, they look similar. I was in that clan for a little while.
You were in the clan for a little while. Congrats, Jordan. That's what I'm talking about. Jamie, if you're still in here, tell me. Who's the partner?
I think Jordan was in here too.
Oh, well, tell me.
DJ, you're going to have to rewatch the beginning because the beginning of this podcast is probably one of my favorites. The first section and then the second section.
Read the comments prior to watching the first. Read the comment. We're going to go over those here in a minute, DJ. You haven't missed much. Trust me.
We'll talk about it. I don't know who these folks are.
I'm not sure either.
But they got
I saw
Tiger
this in
Ronins.
here. I don't know. They got Tiger Ronins. They're winning some cash. They're looking freaking good.
Yeah.
Second place. What do you want?
Duke's. All right, here we go. Because I said it looks like it. Oh man, Gary Cole. Okay,
Gary Cole. Okay.
Yep.
That's
Another
what's up.
bald guy with a short name. Gary Cole, Joel Huff, Justin Duke. I mean, there's a trend.
Dude, y'all are wild.
Bagger Bill, and this is Tom. I don't know his nickname right now, but I'm almost positive that this guy's name is Tom. Tossum Tom.
Dude, they have great names in California.
Yeah, folks, you guys need to step up your game. California, but the problem with it is their Scorholio names are just crazy, right? Because you have Bagger Bill with a moose and then a hammer and then a bang bang thing. I mean, it's out of control.
Yeah.
You know?
We did that for a little while. Not like crazy long names, but we did that for
Mine has always just had a little something to it.
Yeah.
Like I'm CBC Stash right now. In your CBC beard, we've had that for probably close to a year.
Yeah, it's
right. And yours has the
Time to
American
shave.
flag, and
Time
mine
to-
has the. Is it the hammer? Probably the hammer.
I don't even know. I don't even know. I rarely see you out there.
Martina and Steven Anderson getting it done with the custom Preds. Those are technical customs, I believe. Somebody tagged and said Preds because I think he wanted that design but in a Predator. Can you read that bag?
That could be.
Can you read that bag?
No,
give
I
us full
can't.
confirmation on this.
Because it says season 20 here. But yeah, I don't know. I would have said that they were elixirs also. and that's
DJ
what I
sent
did.
it to me and said Predator, and I don't think DJ's pretty handy, you know. He knows his bags. Oh, that guy just hit a little airmail action, Bill.
Mr. Anderson.
Bill, watch the flatback. Just watch
That's
right
what I'm
hurry.
freaking talking about.
See, it's got potential.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a side rail, but it's got potential.
He does. Yeah, I side rail all the time.
True. I just smoked you and Bill, or you and Derek. All right, next. Tristan T. Jones, son, getting it done in the CBC version MNC jersey.
We didn't know what place he got going through these pictures. And he does the little claw grip. So it looks like a 3, and his other hand is the exact same weight. So either got a 6th place or a 3rd place, or
he's
he's
a crab.
first, just holding it.
Or he's a crap.
But you're looking clean. That's what I'm talking about, Tristan. Way to freaking make some money.
That a boy.
That's what I'm talking about, dude.
Couple more here, folks. Derek Cannon getting it done. And he's got the cannons out in the promiscuous Hawk Tua
Yeah,
cutoff
promiscuous.
shirt.
I was going to just say his favorite shirt.
Would you not say that it promotes promiscuity? Let's not
We're not
let's not
talking
get
about
into it.
Yeah.
Man. I've been watching too many debates, folks. We won't get into that, but I'm off the charts lately.
Hey, see you, Hoppy. Have a good one, brother.
Hoppy, go win some dang blind draws. All
Hey,
right.
congrats, Derek. I hope to see you on Friday, dude. I'm going to smoke you on Friday. I didn't know.
Who is this?
I don't know.
Who are you, man? I appreciate you for throwing our bags.
I do too.
Is this
I
Gibby
didn't-
land?
We put
Is
this on
this-
here. She's got a good wad of cash in her hands for 3rd place, taking a good. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
who is
got to be a
this?
big
I mean, look at
tournament.
the person next to her got a hundred spot right there.
Yeah, I
You
want.
know, where's the original photo?
I wish
of
I had the
this?
original on here.
I probably put it somewhere. Did I put it somewhere? Did you put it somewhere? Did I put this in the thing?
But this is-
CBC AI?
This is when we made it. I honestly had no idea. One of y'all need to sell your neighbors a set of bags. Yes, Aaron, that will be happening very soon. And he's also going to need a set of boards because they went and bought the Walmart ones. They both bill bagged in a row right now.
Looks
Both
like
of them.
a singles tournament here, Bill. And look at this. Yeah, they got some cash money going here.
That it's some cash, dude.
Yeah, this is a singles tournament roadblock cornhole.
Hey, whoever you are, I hope you watch this. Please just put your name in the chat at some point. You don't have to say that was me. And just whatever. Put your name so we know who you are. Congrats. That's what I'm freaking talking about. And thank you very much for throwing our bags. Shannon
Back
knockout.
again.
Elixirs.
Shannon in this photo, I mean, she looks like she might knock me out.
Dude, there were 2 knockouts with Shannon. Derek only put one of them.
Shannon, did you ever box? I feel like Shannon could have been somebody that boxed.
You know who really likes Shannon a lot?
Well, me.
No, I mean I do too. But
Don't try to hop on.
Derek, I don't even remember who it was. Derek was just telling me earlier today that, hey, you know that lady that came up to the tent ball? I really like her. I don't remember who it was though. Derek told me. Derek, if you're in the chat, let me know.
Derek,
dude.
come
let
on.
me know. You told me earlier. That's it.
That is
Shannon
it, folks.
ending it with a knockout.
Congratulations. All right, folks, get the shares out there. We are going to highlight at least one event here that we have upcoming in August. And then we're going to get into some hot topics. I mean, hot topics from the viewers yourselves. So
I like this. It's going to be a good one. We got a lot of comments to go through.
Yeah,
tonight.
and then a lot of information, which is really good. I like when we get like a conversation started in our comment section because we get some information.
LaBelle gave great info.
Right.
And I was wondering where he got that from because I couldn't find it.
LaBelle knows things that nobody knows. Could we agree to that?
100%.
It was Tanya, she said. Tanya claims it was her that loved Shannon, which I would agree with. That's probably true.
It could have been Tanya. No, it wasn't Tanya. No.
Tanya, did you talk to Derek? Could have been Tanya.
I don't know.
Yeah, these guys need some work.
It might have been Molly. I mean, Derek was at the booth with somebody. I don't know. I don't know, but it was a great compliment that Derek gave.
All right, moving into events, folks. Todd choked in the chat. What up, Todd? Just hit the last one, Bill.
What's the last one?
Yep.
This thing?
Yep.
This bad boy. Did you put this in yourself?
No, we had it a couple weeks ago. So the Deputy Bubba Johnson, I guess you'd call it a charity tournament, right? Memorial tournaments, right?
Well, the foundation is what it is.
It is the foundation for Deputy Bubba Johnson. That's right. I think this is the 11th anniversary, second annual cornhole tournament, and a 5K run. Folks, I'm not organizing the 5K. I might run in the 5K, but they've been doing the 5K for 10 or 11 years, right? The Cornhole tournament, they brought us out last year to run it. It was a freaking spectacular time, and I assume it will be again this year. So that's August 9th, $40 a team. It's already on Cornholio, so we'll get the link posted probably sometime this week. I'll throw it up there.
Yeah, it's in August, so we got a little bit of time before we get there, but it is going to be 2 weeks after Worlds, I believe is what it is.
I think it's 1 week after Worlds.
No, it's August 9th.
Oh, you're right. It is 2 weeks after
I believe,
Worlds.
Yeah. It's going to be a great time. I know Ricky Evans came down last year. I believe
Penny
Martina
Jones
was there. David Penny Jones. Was Fergie there?
No.
I thought Fergie may have been there.
No, Fergie was there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was a lot of people there. It was a great time. It's outside. It's in a freaking high school parking lot. Conceal your drinks, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it really was a great time, and these are great people that run it there. So
they're silent.
Super excited to do this for the second year in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're great people. So, absolutely.
Yeah. And then there was one
Todd Choate said we sent Fergie and Willie packing last year at this
That's what I'm talking. See, Todd knows. He was there. There's one more that you're going to do that's kind of a combined thing in about a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, not this weekend, but next weekend with Mr. Billy's Bar. They have scheduled a follow-up event that I was unaware of. They also created a flyer. They asked me to run a tournament over there. We did it for them a couple of years ago. It was a great success. They're adding $250 to the pot. It's Are
we going to play this?
Yeah, I think we're going to play. It's going to be a bring your own partner, $40 a team. The only reason I haven't shared it out here, folks, is the flyer was what we will say not faith-based. And the follow-up event is a sponsored bikini contest. So it doesn't exactly align with our values and morals of CBC, like promoting promiscuity, I guess I would say. I guess that's my word of the day.
We're promoting the Cornhole tournament. We're going to play in the Cornhole tournament. We're promoting that. We should be gone prior to any crazy festivities, which a lot of people would show up and have a great time.
Yeah, I think the Cornhole tournament's going to start at 4:30, get it started in the evening. Like I said, the bar is adding $250, and then it's $40 a team, and it's up to me what we pay out. So we'll probably do either 70 or 80%, right, depending on participation. Yeah. I think that's somewhere in between there. I likely do 80. I'm not looking at
250 added. It's going to feel 110% anyway. It's not going to matter. Like there'll be plenty of money in the pot that you could probably do 80%.
Right. Fine. If there's 10 teams, and that's a low number, right? If there's 10 teams, you have $400 there plus 250, 650. So winners are going to capitalize on roughly $300.
Yeah.
So that's just a start. It's pretty dang good.
It'll be a good tournament. Yeah. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I believe it is an outdoors one though, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I need to go check out the venue still. Hopefully, gosh, I don't know when. Maybe tomorrow.
So yeah, Todd needs some details on that.
Yeah, Todd, you guys will like it. And it's out your way because it's like Fredonia. It's in Fredonia, Tennessee, like Highway 12. So I think that's closer to Dixon in that area.
Yeah, and we'll have next week on the podcast, we'll be talking about it, but it'll be 3-4 days from that date.
Right.
3 days from that date.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure you're ready for it because we'll post all the details. We'll be there. Good luck trying to beat us, Todd. Not going to happen.
Scotty, no, the Added 250 is a different tournament. Not this weekend, but next weekend. I'll post some details about it with a Scorholio link. I'm just not going to post the flyer because it's just not what I want.
We'll make it. We may make it.
Yeah.
Okay, is that it for events?
Yeah. That's it, I believe.
Oops.
Oh, well, wait, yeah.
That one.
Yeah, those ones are done, I believe.
Okay, are we ready for the feud?
Let's get it, folks.
Dude, this might go a little hard for a minute. Here we go. Oh my gosh. There's no intro. Do we need the intro?
What happened? Yeah.
Okay, guys, here's the intro.
Much better there. I want to pull up the comments myself just so I can also read what we have going on here, make sure we don't miss anything.
Let me also try to fix this one a little bit.
What do you mean? It looks great. You want to make it just larger? See? Bink. Perfect. All right, so we asked the question in here today, we need your help. List below any cornhole topics you'd like to discuss with us live today on the CBC Down and Back podcast. So here we go. CBC old school Down and Back logo there coming in hot. I don't even know why those are in there.
We'll do all comments on here just to make sure we don't miss anything on this one. Chris Norris, hey jerk, miss you. I like that, Shannon. That's funny. The funny thing is, we're gonna start this out. We're gonna start this out because we're going in order here.
Right, but I want to just do this one and this one combined, right?
Combined, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, folks, until today, we had no idea that there was another podcast, but this one is called the Down and Back Pod. What was it called? The Down and Back
Cornhole
podcast.
Just a cornhole content creator, podcast, live feed guy. Have been playing this game since 2011 and having too much fun to stop now. Always love talking with fans at events. So if you see me, come say hi. So this is a little plug for the Down and Back Cornhole podcast.
Yep.
And the Down and Back Cornhole podcast made a comment today, and we've never heard from them ever.
Never heard from them. Never knew this existed. We just we did our own thing, called it the CBC Down and Back podcast because we didn't believe there was anybody called the CBC Down and Back podcast. But today we got called out a little bit.
Yep.
Here, so I wanted to reply to the guy and say, hey, join us live. Let's talk about it. And hopefully in the future, if he sends us a message, we'll get him on the podcast and we'll talk about it. I have no issues with somebody else having a name that's similar to ours, though. Correct? Do you?
No, I didn't know that. And I mean, did we do any research on Cornhole podcasts to ensure that we didn't overlap with somebody's name? No, folks, we didn't do any of that. There's not even enough I didn't even know where you start to search that at. There's no list of Cornhole podcasts, and really none of the Cornhole podcasts are really big enough to even have come across all of them, right? There's probably many that we don't know about, and there could be more named Down and Back, right? There could be ACLs is Around the Hole. There could definitely be another Cornhole podcast called Around the Hole.
So after he messaged, I did go on and I did look at his page and stuff, and it seemed like it was mostly ACL stuff, is what it seemed like also. That's what it seemed like. I don't know. I don't know where the guy's from or anything like that. But, he made a comment. I wonder if there's already a podcast with that name that has been around for 5 years, LOL. Like, I know it's kind of passive-aggressive here. Like, I wonder. And he had his name, which I give him credit because it was funny, and I laughed at it because it was funny. It was, if you were around here for 5 years, you're definitely before us. I believe we have 3 years going. I have no idea. We're part of a bad company. I don't know what to say. Like I said, before we talk again, let's do it live. Hop on the CBC Down and Back podcast. We'll put your branding on there. We'll do whatever, and we'll just talk about it. If you're upset, I'm sorry. We're not upset whatsoever. We're just trying to have fun with it, brother.
Right, and we're also not branding Down and Back at all. Like, it's just a name for our podcast, right? Like, we're CBC, and you guys know us as that. We're just like, let's ensure we have a fun name on here, just so it's not CBC, the CBC podcast. It just spiced up the name a little bit. If this guy was to like push the envelope and say, I have this name trademarked and I'm going to take you to court, we would just change the name.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, we wouldn't even challenge it, although we could, because his is the Down and Back Cornhole podcast, and we usually use an and symbol. We could literally have this same name with the and symbol instead of the word and if he trademarked it with the word and we use the symbol, it's a different name, right? Like, if push came to shove, we would never get into the semantics of it, right?
If he had it trademarked and he sent us a cease and desist and his lawyer did this, sure, we'll be the Beard and Stash Cornhole podcast.
We'll be the second Down and Back podcast. We'll be the
other Down and Back podcast. It doesn't matter. But anyway, after I put the laughing face at it, not laughing at it, but laughing with it, because it was kind of a passive aggressive joke there. His buddy or somebody, maybe this is him, I have no idea, but he wrote, might know another podcast by that name, might need to take that last train to Clarksville. I don't know what that means. I know it's a song by the Monkees, Last Train to Somewhere, but not Clarksville. I don't know. I don't understand what that means, but it's probably another slight jab.
Yeah, I mean, so just from AI, right, it says to take the last train most literally means to board the final scheduled train. Departing how often uses a metaphor or symbol with various connotations. It can represent a final opportunity, a departure from a place or situation, a journey with an uncertain outcome, or even a transition to death. So I don't think it's transition to death. We could probably rule that out.
Okay.
A final opportunity, we could probably rule that out. A departure from a place or situation is possible, and a journey with an uncertain outcome is what I would say the most possible.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you looked that up, because I don't know. I'm not smart in like sayings and things like that, so that's probably why I didn't know what it meant. But I knew it was probably another passive aggressive attempt to needle us a little bit or give us a little bit of a jab. But again, Donald, come on the show, man.
Send us a message. You are the Down and Back Cornhole podcast, whoever that might be.
We'll see you next week, dude.
Let's find some middle ground on what you'd like to talk about with cornhole, what we'd like to talk about cornhole, and we can talk together. We can have a debate. We can do whatever you'd like.
If you're mad at me, tell me, and I'll we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll probably reconcile it.
We don't mind. All right. Shannon, it's from the Monkees. I know the song, but I didn't know what it really meant. That's all.
And I still don't really know what it means, right? Even with the definition, I'm unsure how it's being used here. No. Like to a T.
I don't know.
I hope it's all in fun.
Dude, Timmy.
What up, brother? He's on the up and up.
Good to see you, big dog.
He's on the up and up.
You. I love it. All right, let's get into the real stuff now.
That's not real stuff.
Cody Mia, you're funny. Cody, you're funny. We're moving on. How far?
No, I like Nick's. You skipped the good one.
Nick Berger. I'm sorry. Well, I like
filter.
I like the short ones.
I know. Let me filter the comments, though.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You take the mouse, Dylan. Take it away from me.
That's why I like to sit in the seat, folks. Nick Burgett says elite players need to be compensated somehow with incentives for wins. And I'm not talking about paying entry fees or some travel expenses. Put them on the payroll. Pro athlete means you should be able to make a living at that sport. Let's get these guys paid.
Okay, Nick, what league are we talking about here? Because you said elite players.
Well, I think he's using elite as the term of professional players.
Stop. There is a category called elite in a different league or organization, whatever you want to call it, that is elite. As far as I know, the ACO doesn't have elite, or if Nick is jabbing at us for having an elite tier,
CBC
Nick,
elite players.
We do pay their entry fees. Yeah. We do pay some of their travel expenses.
Well, he's not talking about that.
I know.
So we're supposed to. So I think somehow with incentives for wins.
What up, Colin?
Isn't that already happening? They need to be compensated somehow with incentives for wins. I mean, when you win, you get money, right? I mean, that's point blank.
You do,
right? And then he says, not talking about entry fees, travel expenses, put them on a payroll. So a reason that I would also get rid, I like the idea. I understand you want to get people on a payroll. They're professional players, is what you're saying, right? I don't like using the term athlete, but that's a whole nother topic, right?
Well, okay.
And
Yeah.
but
But a
putting somebody
professional-
on the payroll
A
comes.
professional cornholer.
Yes, good, love it. Put them on the payroll will come with contracts and stipulations and expectations and duties and responsibilities that right now the pro cornhole players, they're not bound, at least
They
in the
don't.
ACO. Well, let's talk ACO because that's what we know about. They're not bound to any responsibilities as a pro player. They don't have to show up to a certain amount of events. They don't have to wear certain clothing. They don't
Well,
have
the
to.
player, I believe it's called the player handbook. It may just be in the CO's handbook, but there are some things that they have to abide by.
Like
It's
what?
not much. It's very loose. At one point, just to give an example, you couldn't wear slides on center court.
Right, but that's
you know
for
what I mean?
everybody. That's not for pro players.
Okay. There's also like distracting behavior. Well, no, I know it's not for pro. It's for anybody who plays in the ACO. And so you're talking about additional things on top of that.
If you were on a payroll, if you were on a payroll, it would likely come with responsibilities and duties.
Right, if you put the ACO in a bad light or something
Well,
like
I think that even if let's say Bill, you're the best player in the world, you're number one, right? The ACO says I'm going to put you on a payroll for $100,000 every year, right? That's all it says, and you all you have to do is sign and say I agree, right? At that point, you don't have to show up to any more tournaments, right? If they don't make you have any obligations or responsibilities.
Look, I mean, that's incentive in itself because it's probably a 1-year contract or it's probably a contract that can be canceled for any sort of negative behavior. And those are the limitations you're talking about being put on something like that. But a limitation that's always in a contract, usually the minimum is 1 year, right? Unless you're an influencer, maybe it's 3 months or 6 months, but a cornholer you would think would be at least 1 year. And yeah, you're right. You don't have to do that, but you will never get on a contract again for any professional sport whatsoever if you just don't show up. So that is kind of a self-correcting incentive, I guess. You know what I mean?
But we can agree that a payroll would come with extra expectations.
Timmy, thank you.
Duties and responsibilities.
Timmy, I was thinking that when he said it. I was like, dude, he's finally realizing it.
That's right. No,
Thank God somebody
he
put it in
just,
chat.
he just, oh no. Oh no.
I'm going to the bathroom. I really got to go to the bathroom. Timmy, I don't think I'm ever going to recover from that. Dylan, I'm leaving him alone because of that.
Oh, Timmy just, he threw the tornado back
Dude, I
at you.
can't believe he just...
Good night, Timmy.
He was roasted, dude. I'm embarrassed.
He was so stoked for that. And you just destroyed him, Timmy. That was rough to watch. But yeah, so I as much as I think there are pros to being on a payroll, I do think that it'll come with expectations and duties and responsibilities that might hinder the freedom of cornhole players right now. But to speak on our contracts for the players that we have in contracts, we don't require a minimum amount of tournaments. And for the most part, people have upheld their side of I'm going to try to go to 6 to 8 majors. They usually go to 6 to 8 majors. We've had a couple people that didn't fulfill the things that they said they were going to, that were put in contracts that we paid. And like Bill said, in the next season or seasons, those people won't be coming back to CBC, right, by our choice, because they didn't fulfill an obligation that they said they would fulfill. So, and this is something if we want to talk about sponsorship in CBC, one of the most important questions on the CBC application is how many majors do you plan to attend? Because if you're only going to attend maybe 2 to 4 tournaments, the return of investment on a player only going to a minimum amount of tournaments is going to be hard for CBC to want to invest in that player, just because the return is likely to be low based on data that we've gained from other people. So, like I said, it comes with expectations and duties, just like the contracts our players are in, which are very loose. We don't require amount of tournaments, but I was talking about we don't require people to go to an amount of tournaments, which has gotten us burned in the past on a few things. But like you said, those people will likely not be invited back to the team.
And that's true.
one of the most important questions on the application is how many majors do you plan to attend in season 21, right? And we take people at their word with that because it hasn't always held true, but it's very important because we believe that the more tournaments you go to, the higher the return on investment in that player Not saying that's 100% a fact, but most of the time we can agree that.
Right, and all of our, just speaking on that topic, all of our elite sponsorships come with contracts.
Right.
So we put those out there. We say what's expected, but we never want to make it harder to play cornhole for anybody. So show up to the majors that you want to, perform, do what you got to do. We put no pressure on anybody or anything like that whatsoever. But if you're a freaking good person and you're showing up and you're throwing and you're making that attempt, it's great. We love it. It's the people that don't show up after they wanted a contract and things like that. That's an issue, which is exactly what this situation could turn into if somebody gets on the payroll. You know what I mean? And how much money is allotted to the payroll for something like that? You said, I'm not talking about entry fees or some travel expenses. In my opinion, that's pretty damn good. Entry fees and travel expenses to show up and play freaking cornhole?
Yeah.
To me, that is great. If the ACO was doing that for some players, I think that's a good thing. I really do, because it has them showing up. The competition's always going to be there. The top players will be there if that is happening.
Yeah, and I think I would agree with what Eric Porter said, that cornhole is not there. Oh, Bill, I just clicked something that I didn't mean to. So sorry about that, folks. I do this sometimes. Get a little click happy.
Yeah, now you messed up my whole feng shui over
Did
here.
I really?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're noobs at this podcast thing. We're gonna get some tips next week from the Down and Back podcast, though.
How did this happen like this? Why is this thing so large?
Can I just fix it over here and we can continue?
Yeah, go ahead. All right. The next thing I wanted to read is Nate Allen saying how far it has come that ESPN delayed the MLB All-Star selection for cornhole. So I did see something on this one. I saw something from a non-cornhole page.
Comment. Great comment.
Yeah, I saw it from a non-cornhole page, which was really great to read those comments because it was mainly roasting cornhole, right? It really was. It's like, what is this? This is stupid. Can't delay that for a bar game and blah, blah, blah. But there were some comments in there that were like, this is really cool, and then, I didn't know people were that good, and maybe I should get into it, like little stuff like that. It's a problem.
We're cutting the podcast short, folks.
Folks, there's 4 male individuals, assumed male individuals over here around cornhole boards. They're literally 75 feet from us. None of them know how to play very well.
They're all in the Army.
Yeah,
we were in the Army. We can win freaking.
Thank you, Wes Morgan.
Wes, you're the freaking man,
folks,
dude. Let's
you guys
go.
are worried about travel expenses. Wes Morgan sending us stars. This is how we make this podcast possible.
That's how we get to Worlds, baby.
That's right. That's how we get to Worlds. Send stars for CBC to go to Worlds.
Nate, that's a hilarious comment.
Anyways, what happened? Let me say what happened.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
so
I like it.
ESPN 2 or ESPN Plus was broadcasting the ACL tournament. The doubles section of the tournament championship ran 10 minutes over their allotted time, which ran into the MLB All-Star selection, right? Which is the All-Stars being selected for the team for the All-Star game. That was good for cornhole. As much as it might have got hate, and we're talking to my buddy Josh at work, right? And he's like, no, everybody was angry. It's like, the thing is that it definitely wasn't everybody, right? We know that because it's going to bring somebody. All publicity is good publicity, and they had to sit there and wait and watch cornhole for 10 minutes. And I think it's good, and I think people realize that this is a professional sport. This is going on, and I can get involved as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, David just tried to call me. David, we're on the podcast, brother.
What up, David? How you doing, man?
Oh, man.
Hey, we're live, brother. We're live. What's going on?
This is Bill's second phone call on the podcast.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
No, you're good. Dylan's pissed at me because I took the call. But David, how could I not take the call? How you doing, sir?
David, you hung up that phone. Me. That's right. That's
hung up on
David agrees with me. Me and David's viewpoints align.
Dude, I love David. David's a great guy, dude. I love David.
All right, let's get away from that. I think it was good, though. Good comment, Nate.
I like it, too. How to stop sandbagging or how to deal with sandbaggers.
It depends on what you mean by sandbagging, and it depends. I mean, I don't think that the severity of punishing people for sandbagging in the sport of cornhole at your local event, I don't know if it's worth the like getting people out of the game.
Look, I think everybody has thought about sandbagging before to win like a couple extra bucks cash. I'm just gonna take Sakin and Drankin for instance, right? Like you could sandbag, but they do two tiers. They have so many people. So we go into switch holio. If the worse you throw is at some point the better teammate that you match up with in the future, because we play 3 rounds, right? 3 rounds of switch, but then they have 2 tiers. So if you go below the midway point, chances are not looking good for you whatsoever, because then you're in tier 2 and they only get 10% of the pot.
Right.
In tier 1 they get 90% of the pot, but it's like we have 3 different ways that they do it. It's a complete blind draw, top matching with bottom, so you'd have to be in the absolute bottom of tier 1 to be able to match with that person. So sandbagging to a point, if you're that freaking good and you can hang 1 spot above the bottom to do that, great.
Which the numbers are ever
that's
changing.
crazy. Or they do top middle, right? To which that wouldn't have helped you at all, because now you have in tier 1 the middle player and the bottom player in that tier 1. So you have a 33% chance that it actually helps you rather than just throwing your normal stuff. That's how we do it. How other people do it, I don't know. Like a normal blind draw, there are no sandbaggers. You can't have a sandbagger.
Right.
So I could only think in switch maybe you have that sandbagger, but I believe, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, with a handicap system, could you have sandbaggers?
Yeah, we'll get into it because I want to read the comments
That
to
is
completely
something.
understand handicap before I start spewing what I
Right.
think it is
Right.
and what I think you can and can't do. But Rodney Franklin, so that is our solution locally, because we did deal with this. Like, we were just running a switch, and then we said we were going to match it top, middle, or top, bottom before going into the second phase of the tournament, which then we saw sandbagging happening. So then, like what Bill's saying, is what we did is we went to a wheel that had options on it, right? Because then people
You
didn't
spin
know
the wheel,
what it was
exactly.
going to be.
Top,
And
middle, top, bottom, or complete blind draw.
the way we
is the-
incentivized throwing your best, if you were a good player, is the top spot player spun the wheel and had an option of a redraw. So if it went top bottom, that would not benefit the player, right? Whoever it is. So they can choose to spin again, which 33% of the time they're going to hit top bottom again, which has happened multiple times. But sometimes it'll be more favorable top middle. Sometimes it'll be what could be considered the least favorable for the top player, which is a complete blind draw. So you get to take it at your own risk.
Yeah.
You know?
Top middle would be the most favorable for somebody like that. So why not everybody try their hardest to get that top spot so you can spin twice and hopefully get top middle. If you don't get top middle, I'm not going to say you're screwed both ways. One way, which is the complete blind draw, you have a pretty good chance.
Right.
Another way, top bottom, probably not that great.
Right. And so for tournament directors, probably have the question of how long does this take? We start around 7 o'clock. We usually have 40 to 50 players. We're usually there till about midnight with 6 sets of boards. So just for reference, and that's right. 3 rounds of switch holio. So you could bring it down to 2 rounds to reduce that time. You could go to 4 if you have less players, right?
We also have a game in the middle, and it's usually not an airmail pot. It's usually a trash board or knockout.
30 minutes. Or so, yeah.
So it could be done a lot earlier than that, but as long as the tournament runs efficiently.
Yeah, I would say most of the time with 40 players without a side game, your tournament will probably run roughly 4 hours with 6 sets of boards. So put all that stuff into factor, but this is the most efficient way we've been able to run cornhole and eliminate sandbagging, as well as maximizing gameplay. You're guaranteeing 5 games for any given player. So we do get people that travel an hour or two because it's more worth their time than showing up to just a blind draw.
Yeah, and you always put the ghost in tier 2.
Yes, if you're going to split tiers. Absolutely. So, good question, Rodney Franklin. Backdoor Saloon Cornhole League says, what makes a good venue to play?
14-foot ceilings, 6 sets of boards, cheap beer, and great food. Barbecue, pork nachos. It's the best venue out there. That's my take on it. Dylan?
I would say
in 3 sentences or less.
Yeah, I would agree with high ceilings. I would say a good thermostat, right?
Yeah.
I do think that's a good factor of
That
a
is.
good
Yeah.
cornhole venue.
Yeah.
Lastly, I would say just a good environment, right? Which it could be encompassed with what Bill says with, maybe good drinks and good food and good owners of the venue as well as tournament directors is what I would kind of encompass with environment.
I like it. I like it. What about the food? What's your number one food you like to see at cornhole tournaments?
Man, we used to have this guy, Homie's Tacos, and
Oh,
he made burrito
geez,
tacos on a
man.
black top, and this was legit street tacos out the back of a van, folks.
Clean.
It was good stuff.
It was clean. Yeah.
Shout out Homie's Tacos, man.
Big
Dude,
shout.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite cornhole food, but it's probably my favorite food I've had at a cornhole venue. Also, Owensboro Convention Center, those turkey bacon club sandwiches is a banger. Those wraps are bangers.
Dude, Owensboro's got some of the best food at a center that I've seen.
Yeah.
The other one, Tupelo, they had a nice little buffet, but I got a little sick after one of those.
Well, we don't know if it was,
We don't know if it was that or not. But
they do have a good selection and cheap. Tupelo is one of the better venues because I know that the drinks are cheap, the food is cheap. The venue is air conditioned for sure. It's cold up in there.
the last Tupelo, I believe Frank paid for like 30 cases of free beer for everybody. It's not like it was very cool. It was very cool. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, next one here. Top 10 people with best
gonna have to
chances
wait
to
on
win
that.
King/Queen of Cornhole. I will name 5 off the top of my head. Dylan will name 5 off the top of his head. No order. I will do 3 kings
And cannot overlap.
and 2 queens. And I get to go first.
No, we'll go back and forth.
Isaac.
Scotty Ball.
This is off the top of your head quick.
Okay.
Okay? Isaac.
Scotty Ball.
Caleb.
Nate Stevens.
Braden Easterling.
Um,
Okay, 4 women. You start women.
no, I have one more male.
Okay, go ahead.
Gosh, you're interrupting me.
But then we're gonna be on 6.
Sebastian Barger.
Dude, that was the best pick of all of them. Right,
that
right
spot,
now,
at
that
that
is the
spot.
best. No, right now that is the best pick. Who can be top 10 in no order? If I had to order them right now, Sebastian Barger, King Cornhole. Okay, Queens. Kim Jackson,
Kelsey Highturk.
Kennedy.
Maggie Geiger.
This is a tough spot.
I already know. Oh, that's it. We should do 3 from both. Just go, because it makes it hard.
This is a tough spot though. After you name all them, right?
I want one
it's a
more.
tough
No,
spot.
I've got one more for sure. Like nailed down for sure. And when I say it, you'll agree.
This is I'm taking way too long on here. I'd say Lisa Hill.
Kennecott.
Mechanica. Okay, very good. Yeah, that's all we're gonna do, Justin. I love the question, dude. Rapid fire right there, brother.
Yeah, we'll probably do something for this before World.
We will.
Week.
Next week is gonna be a big week,
World's
dude.
edition.
It's the World's edition. We're gonna go nuts in the Worlds. Talk about the entire freaking thing.
All right, we're getting to the big one. No, Matt Boatman says, I don't know how many tournaments you guys run, but maybe you could give us some behind-the-scenes stuff, like how much time, effort, and money it costs to run one. Honestly, I think you're talking about these big major tournaments. Matt, we don't have a single insight to that. We really don't.
Yeah, Matt, if you're talking about the majors, have no idea. I would tell you to get in contact with Mr. Charlie Case. He's the owner of Lucky Bags. He does bags on the Ohio with 270 Cornhole once a year, every year after Worlds. Owensboro is a massive venue, right? I don't know the type of negotiations that they do, and you have to also realize that Owensboro and Cornhole is a tried and true place to where they love cornhole there. So I'm sure that they make extra concessions for people that have tournaments there. But that's the first person that I would go to look to run a bigger tournament at because they do it once a year. That's the best advice I can give you for that.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. If we get more insight, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Local tournaments, I mean, the time and effort, it's kind of all out there in front of you. You know, maybe 30 extra minutes to set up, 30 extra minutes to tear down, money spent. If there's venue fees, that's really the only money spent. And then products and equipment, which is usually paid for by the club or sponsors if you resource correctly.
One of the biggest things that I would say to you also is if you get in contact with a business owner Number one, spend 2 months trying to build up your club or tournament or whatever you have. Make sure you are super consistent every week on that day at that time, starting at the right possible time for something like that. And then also ensure that the venue gives cornholers some sort of concession, because let's say, we got crazy at one point here. We had 4 tournaments a week at the same freaking spot on 4 different, like it was, maybe it was 5 at one point. It was insane. But the owner worked with us. This was mid-COVID too, and they were dark times for that business. So he's very happy to have all of us there.
Yeah.
But the owner worked with us. We got concessions at his place to where it was cheaper beers. It was if we wanted to throw axes at the same time, it was like $10 all night. Like he was doing
reduced prices,
very reduced prices for everything that was at their business, because that person knew that we were super consistent showing up. Not only that, he had the businesses next door. There was a Mexican joint next door, phenomenal freaking food.
Yeah.
They would give us 10% off just to show up and say, "Hey, we're cornholers."
Yep.
So don't sell yourself short to where that owner's like, "Well, sure, you can do it, but stay away from everything," because you're providing a service to that business also.
Right.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah. Next one.
Wes says, Wes makes the best barbecue, way better than Bill.
Wes, you have no freaking clue what you're talking about.
Send us some stars. You better.
Thank you, Wes. Wes, I love you. Show up. That's all I'm gonna say. Show up. You got to try my barbecue, dude.
TD in the chat. We miss you too, TD. You the man, bro.
Damn, what up? Good to see you, man.
The big question here with the million comments from Scotty Ball. Handicap next season. Heard that the handicap will be allowed in tournaments that go towards singles division points. So handicaps will help you make pro. Not a fan.
Before you read any other comment, please read LaBelle's.
All right, let me find it. Oh man, we're diving in here. So maybe it's a comment to a comment. Oh, it could be in here somewhere. All right, here is this the one you're speaking about?
Yeah, that's the one.
Right.
That's the
Would you
one.
like me to read it in full?
Okay, so just to recap here, we're talking about handicap being implemented next year for the ACO season. Okay, and LaBelle seems like, and I don't know because I haven't seen any documentation on it. Maybe I've missed it on the ACO website. Maybe this is secretive and LaBelle put it out on our page. I have no freaking clue because I have not seen this yet. But please read it.
Okay, Ryan LaBelle, who is the ACO National Tournament Director, I believe is his title. He said, "You left out a huge part of getting pro status for season 21. Regionals will only be worth 40% of a player's world ranking, and majors will account for 60%. If someone maxes out in regionals, won't necessarily make them achieve pro status if they don't perform at majors. 80 points to win a major, and all split and single brackets carry the same point values. I wanted to point this out before lopsided info is spewed everywhere. On another note, most of the handicap testing I did for months, the top players still won, but they had to play hard every game, and the lesser skilled in most cases didn't lose to you 21-0 every time, giving them a more fun experience at the regional level. Handicapping will never happen at the highest level like majors or worlds. Some will use it and some won't. Depends on your need to drive participation at regionals. I will play you at worlds using a handicap." So we're going to have to break this down kind of as we go.
Yeah, one by one as we go. 2 initial thoughts. Let's give our initial thoughts on it, and then we'll go talk about it. I have 2 initial thoughts. Number 1, if I practice for years and I get to the point where I can just smoke people, maybe I don't want to play hard every game. Yeah. Because I got that good. I don't want to. Some nights I can show up and I don't have to play my absolute best to win, which handicap means you have to play your freaking absolute best no matter. I'm playing Isaac Hurt every time I play.
Brett Ledbetter coming in the chat.
That's what I'm talking about.
Bill's hair is looking stellar today. That's my pops. Look at Bill.
What about the beard?
Let's hope he doesn't hit you with like a Tim Hotchkiss.
Hey, Justin Duke, you resemble Brett Ledbetter a lot.
Definitely both bald.
Brett, I love you, dude. Thanks for showing up, man.
My initial thoughts is
that's one.
Oh, sorry.
That's only one.
I thought you finished.
My second thought, exactly what Ryan says here. If your club is struggling to get new players, maybe you want to do this because it gives them, it gives newer players a little bit more to work on. You know what I mean? They want to get their handicap down, similar to golf, right? You want to lower your handicap every time,
Right.
so you can kind of move out. I like both of those, which means I'm kind of split in the middle with something like this. For people at clubs like that, I can see a great value in something like this. Like, let's say a pro decided to be a CO out in the middle of nowhere and tried to get people to play. A handicap may make people show up.
Right, because I think, so let me get into my initial thoughts, I guess, and then
Yeah,
also kind of add on to yours a little bit. Initial thoughts, the restructuring of points has caught me off guard. It is one of my initial thoughts that it says
Was
that,
this the first time you ever read that?
that is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, right
me
now.
Too, me too.
Right.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, I did not read this earlier. I saw 40 comments and I was like, dude, I don't have time for this. I had to get changed and get here.
Whoa,
I worked
dude.
an hour
Okay,
late today. So
okay.
these are legitimately my initial thoughts.
Yeah.
To know that they're restructuring points, I really like it. The ACO's done a really good job with the restructuring points in the past. Every time they restructure them, it's been for the betterment of the pro players, in all honesty, that it is tougher to get pro and more true. And I think that a big, I guess, negative from the pro community is that it's easy to make pro status, or the pro status may be watered down. I think the ACO does a good job of continuing to make it harder to make pro status.
Kind of protect it a little bit.
And I think that that's good. My second thought would be that the people commenting that handicap is good that I've seen so far, Ryan LaBelle included, I think Kim Jackson had something about it as well.
She did.
Have done testing. And I think that a lot of the people that don't like the handicapping have not done testing. So that's my second thought. I think that Ryan LaBelle has probably gone through, and Ben Buddha, because I listened to a podcast with Ben and Ryan talking about it. And if you've gone through the testing, these people have been around cornhole for 20 plus years. I would assume that their knowledge is better than mine and most of us that play cornhole if they've tested this thoroughly. So I trust Ryan LaBelle and people that have tested the handicap system.
I just I know it would make me a better player. Like me, let's say I played against Nate Allen, he'd probably have like a 3 handicap on me, maybe 4 or 5, somewhere around there. And that was a
I'm sorry,
joke.
I
You were
was
supposed to
reading
laugh your
Jerry's
butt off
comment.
at that one. Anyway, let's say Nate Allen had a big handicap on me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had a 3, 4, or 5 on me or something. I don't want to play my hardest to have to beat him sometimes. You know what I mean? I want to show up and have some fun.
Yeah, but if you're a pro, are you not expected to play your hardest at all times?
If you are not a pro, does that get the bunkie off of your shoulder? You know how there's
Yeah.
kryptonite?
Yeah.
And let's say I'm handicapped against this player. Does that get the monkey off my back if I beat this player with a 1 handicap?
Yeah, I think a little bit, right?
To know that you're 1 bag on the board away from beating him?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's also something that's like, could this incentivize cash games? It's like, maybe you can beat me
Oh, dude,
handicap.
I will never play a handicap cash game.
No. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying that it drives people to be like, you know what? Yeah, maybe you beat me handicap, but you couldn't beat me straight up over here. Let's run it. You know,
Okay.
and like, because I think the handicap could build confidence that like let's say Nate has a 1 handicap, like you are scoring. He's scoring 1 extra point with you, right? And he beats you in singles with the handicap. He may now actually believe that he can beat you straight up as well, right? Do you think that?
I love how you said he may now actually believe in
This
talking about Nate to me.
handicap
I like that. I like
equals possible manipulation, right? And gaslighting. It's almost gaslighting the players to believe they have the capability to beat anybody, which then could drive people to be better and play cash games.
I do see that happening.
Yeah.
It could drive those top people to be better. It really, or I guess it could happen in both ways. I believe the top of the top, the people that want to be the best and always be the best, because I believe even with a handicap, a 4-bagger on 4-bagger is a wash, correct?
Yes.
I believe
You
that is
cannot score
true.
more than 12.
Okay.
Yes.
So, if you are the top of the top, all you need to do is throw 4-baggers and it does not matter because they don't get those additional handicap points if you throw that 4-bagger.
That's right. And you can.
That's
I know. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, yeah. If they throw a 10 and their handicap is 2, they get a 12 with you. But they could never throw a 12 with you, throwing a 12, and then score a 14, which would equal 2 points.
And
So it could make people better. It could. The top people. Now the people that just show up to play as a social thing, which is more likely my case and things like that. I would have an opportunity against these top people playing like that. Although on the inside, dude, I just want to beat them once every 6 months and freaking laugh in their face and talk some shit.
Yeah.
I just want to beat them once in a while. Like, I mean, dude, how was it beating the Hertz?
Yeah, I mean, without a handicap, right? Let's preface this. I beat the Hertz in 2022 in doubles with my boy Luke Hepperman.
It was Owensboro about 3:18 p.m.
Semifinal game, court 3. We had a freaking viewing, a viewing of probably 57 or so people.
Could you ever have this conversation with me if that was a handicap?
No.
Okay. That's all I'm saying.
No, I mean, and that is the thing. It does take away from the possibility of having a legitimate win against a big name player. Right? Like, so let's say I have a 1 handicap against you, but I DPR 1.23 against you in that game, right? I won with the handicap, but technically I could say that I would have won without it because my DPR was higher than my handicap.
I didn't think of that. That's a great point.
So those arguments are going
if somebody
to
wants to get in those stats, if somebody wants to get into that. Look, I like changing things like this.
Why am I seeing Chris Norris's comments? Oh, this is the $11. Oh, okay. We could.
Chris, we're talking about that later. No, we're going to talk about that. That's one of the next comments here. Let's wrap this one up too, because we're kind of getting a little crazy with it. I don't mind them trying it for a season.
Yeah,
I don't mind whatsoever. I think to evolve, to move forward and find out the best play, to bring more people in and stuff like that, they have to try new things. And if it's just at the regional portion and it counts
optional
and it counts for 40%, this is my initial thought. Regional 40%, and we may come up with a vlog here soon. I have no idea. We're talking about this for a little bit. But let's say Dylan and I decided to play doubles next year, and we couldn't max out in regionals. Do we go to handicapped regionals after that?
Yeah, I wouldn't like playing in a handicap regional at all, personally.
But hey, let's say we're 7 of 8, and that's our top 20, baby.
No, I mean, I morally wouldn't do it.
I gotta find a new partner, folks.
I knew that Braden's coming. I knew Bill would go with that because he knew my answer to that.
That's where my head went for, like, how can you exploit it? You know what I mean?
It can be exploited, but like Ryan LaBelle is saying, you have to show up at majors if they account
majors
right
are
now.
Very more, and they should be. They should be more important.
Because right now the percentage would lie somewhere around, because I think you get 220 points in majors and 200 points in regionals. So we're looking at more of like a 51-49 split right now.
Not with them increasing to 80.
Right.
Yeah. Right now, I believe 920 points is max.
Right, and
for singles, doubles, it's 420.
Yeah, that's with 500 added. It's so hard to do the math here. So really, it's like 200 regional points, 220 major points. It's 420 earned points, right? So split 220 and 200 in regionals. It's roughly 50% regionals and majors to earn your pro status as it lies.
Yeah.
They're putting more weight into the majors as well as more points. I don't know if the points really matter. It could be 3 points. I don't really care, right? Whatever the metric is. If it's 60-40, there are a lot of people maxing out regionals, and I think that's why they're doing that, right? Because people are just playing.
Right. Well, I mean, what was the top regional player this year? It was
I saw somebody
Sean, right?
Yeah, I think Sean Scott had, I want to say 82 regionals.
I love him for doing it. I really do love him for doing it. He's out there with 82 regionals. He's playing every night. He's trying to hone his craft. In Clarksville, he showed up. That wasn't Sean, was it? That was Jared.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was not Sean.
The 82 is
Shannon Rock, what are you looking for?
Well, she said, what was it? Wins with handicap will always have an asterisk.
Yeah, and I would
Is that true?
I mean, personally, that's a personal thought, right? That's on an individual basis. Like like I said, you can always have the argument if your DPR is higher than your handicap, then you actually would have won that game. It's a hypothetical, but that holds a little bit of weight statistically.
I think Shannon's spot on with this. If
Yeah.
we did picks and our picks were based off of regionals, would not the top question be, was this a handicap tournament or not?
Definitely. Yeah.
And if there's an asterisk next to it, we may not even look
to
at
make power rankings, you'd have to have that condition for sure. Like,
Right.
you would have to set that.
Yeah.
That
So it's a legitimate
power
comment.
rankings and picks are based off of non-handicapped tournaments, right?
Right.
If we were to set like this is the top 10 in this, right? We'd have to have the condition of this, you know.
I like it.
Okay. I don't know.
Let's get out of the handicap thing. We're done. We're
Okay,
done.
well,
with that, I
we're going to need to have another conversation on
We
it.
will.
And we'll probably come back to this exact post to get all this nailed in. The one thing I did, I forgot what I wanted to say.
Wait. Read Eric's. It seems legit here. I don't
No,
know.
he's saying that he knows a kid that's really, worked his butt off to beat all these pros and play with all these pros, and that's how pro status should be earned, not through, a handicap system. And I think that these
So
people are
far,
still going to
we
be
know-
rewarded.
yeah.
Like I don't think
They
that
will
these
let
people are going
majors-
to miss out.
Got to show up to majors is
Right.
what it seems like anyway. Got to show up to majors. I would consider 8 regionals maxed standard for somebody that had practice that you're talking about right there. I would consider that standard, and then the regionals got to show up to those. And that's all I would say. I would say if you are maxed in regionals, it is. I'm not going to say it's not special because it is special, but it is. It's more on par. You know what I mean? Right? If you're going to be a pro anyway, that's what I mean by that. On par to be a pro rather than special to be a pro, maxing regionals. That's what I would say if this is implemented.
Yeah. I also need to look at this. The 80 points to win a major and all split and single brackets carry the same point values. That could promote going to small majors if that's true, right? In the past, it's kind of been weighted towards split bracket majors. You earn more points to place higher in a split bracket major than a non-split bracket major. So this, if they're going backwards, I guess this would be to...
I wouldn't say this. So
backwards is in this is how it used to be, right? Not as in it's negative, but
okay.
backwards is in
okay. Yeah.
this is how it used to be.
I would just say, and this is two things shifting at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And in economics, when you try to figure out something, you would say everything stays the same except this one variable I'm going to change, and then you test that variable against everything. And you're right, they're going back on this because last year's when they did, all major wins were the same, and this year is a little bit different. So they're changing that, and they're changing the handicap, which means not everything is staying the same with the one change. Yeah, they're making a couple.
Yep.
So if there is a difference in something, there's a percentage towards one of those changes. There's a percentage towards a different change. You know what I mean? And you'll never know the difference.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, I mean that's
No, I think that's a great take on it, though. I mean, really. Like I said, there's a lot of comments to read here, and we'll get back to them. Maybe we could finish with Dennis's comment here. Why are people becoming beggars and asking for money to play a game they love?
Dennis, why'd you do that?
Really, that's just the precedent that's been set by whoever started paying out tournaments. And to blame the players now for what happened then, I think is a little absurd, right? Because that's the standard that's been set, Dennis. And as much as you might dislike it, I don't think it's anything that can change.
Wait. What is your take on? I don't know. With what you said, I still don't even know your take. I think I thought I knew what his comment was talking about, but tell me, what is the beggar? What is the people becoming beggars? What does that mean to you?
I think that it's one, people not accepting the payout level at a local standpoint, right? Like that's not paying out enough. If people don't pay out, 80%, then they're wrong, right? Or 70%, and then as well as people wanting to get the salary pay that we were kind of talking about earlier.
Okay. I thought it was different than that.
Okay.
I don't want to say what I thought.
We'll smoke those guys.
I know we're about to go smoke those guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna be up late to do this, but it's worth it. Yeah, this guy's trying to dribble. He's
getting wrecked. I don't want to say what I thought. Excuse me.
Well, now you have to say it.
There are people that need help getting to some of the tournaments,
Okay.
and they ask for help online.
Mm.
And that's what I believe that this
Mm.
comment was
Why
geared
are people
towards.
becoming
Not what
beggars?
you were talking about. Was
Ah.
geared towards, hey, Worlds is coming up and it's expensive. Can people
No.
help me with this?
Now that I'm reading it again, you brought that. Like I, for some reason,
And that's why I
I
asked
forgot
you.
about it. Yeah. No, I think it's you're probably right. I wish Dennis was in the chat to let us know for sure. But let's run with that. Let's run with that's what it is
Okay.
because we've spoke on this before. I mean, you'll never see us do it, right? If we raise money for Worlds, it will be to go for our players, right? It would never
100%.
be to benefit CBC. We pay our way forward to things. We are paid for some services that we provide. That's the only help that we get, but most of the time we are showing up out of pocket when we walk in the building.
So there is, and we've talked about this before, what Dylan has said, and that's how I read the comment.
No,
I
that
read the
makes sense.
comment as people hopping on it saying, hey, Worlds is expensive. Help me out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the calendar boards, they're this, and yeah.
And I have two things to say about that. Some people are asking for sponsors for a 1 day deal for however long they're at Worlds. It's crazy to me. Crazy to me. What kind of exposure? Well, number one, a business, and look, there's businesses with great hearts that send people to things like this and pay for things like this because that's a good person trying to get to World. You know, something like that is why a business is like, I'm not really doing this for me. It's wonderful if you talk about me and wear my stuff, but get to Worlds or get to something like this. People do that. Businesses do that. Those are not the businesses that I'm going to be talking about right now.
Okay.
The businesses that I'm talking about right now is when somebody says, hey, this is me. These are my stats. I'm going to Worlds. Do you want to help? I can get you exposure for your company. How many companies get exposure at Worlds?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
But
I would
other
assume.
than maybe bad companies and somebody's
Yeah.
throwing their specific bad. I'm saying like, Mike and Tim's lawn care.
On
You
somebody's
know what
jersey
I
from
mean?
Arkansas,
Yeah,
right? Like,
and
I
that's
don't-
what I'm saying.
I think there's
Or
minimal
wearing a
amounts.
hat.
I mean, I think that there's been Bryce is sponsored by Dana Tidwell, who has an HVAC company. Literally, Dana got your business
My
personally
business
because Dana
yes.
sponsors Bryce.
100%.
Right?
I
Or
called
else
Dana
you would
up
not have
immediately.
known that he ever did HVAC.
Right.
But since you know Dana personally as well, but we wouldn't have known if he wouldn't have sponsored Bryce. But how often is that happening? And especially like what you're saying.
And Bryce is one of our guys.
And it's a whole season where Bryce is wearing the hoodie, Bryce is tagging him all season long, right? It wasn't just one tournament, which is what you're saying is somewhat absurd, to ask for money for just one tournament. Let's read Ricky's comment because I do think that there's an argument here that's somewhat valid. He asks, why is somebody worrying about somebody else's finances? If you don't want to support them, then I think he means stay quiet.
Then stay quiet if you don't want to support. Yeah, and that's a great argument towards it too, Ricky. 100%. It's it negates the argument that Dennis is saying here, right? Why are people beggars? And you're saying, why do you care? I think boiling down the argument, that's what it is.
Right, and I think most of us do this on a day-to-day basis when we look at homeless people or something like that, right? That 98% of people are driving by the beggars, right? And I think that's also happening with this. I think that if I have 3,000 friends on Facebook and I ask for X amount of things, probably less than 5% is going to donate anything. So I do think that most people are following in line with what you're saying, Ricky. They're just passing by. We're just having the conversation because it is something that floods our Facebooks and our social media pages in this time of the year, every year.
It does.
And as much as Bill and I don't morally agree with asking for money to promote your hobby, there is free will and you're allowed to do it, right? And that is the
100%.
bottom line. Like, as much as if we don't personally agree with it, it doesn't mean we're saying you should not do it, right? It's just that, like I said, we don't agree with it, and we believe that you should be providing some sort of service to do this, right? And a lot of them are. The calendar's like, you're going to win X amount of dollars, and I'm going to take this.
I think it should be. I honestly think there should be some sort of benefit provided to the person that's donating and the person that's doing something. And a lot of people do that, selling squares and things like that to try, to raise some sort of, I guess 50% of the money to go to Worlds, and then the other 50% goes to not this again. Bob, come on, Bob.
Bob, I know. Have you put your squares post up yet, Bob?
Yeah, Bob, where's your squares? But I haven't donated.
CBC is gonna buy some squares, probably all
of them. Bob, hey, Bob, if I see you at Worlds, I'm out of maple syrup, dude.
Oh, we're all my maple syrup, Bob. That's not even. That sounds like a joke. That's legit. I got like 2 tastes off it at the tournament. Bob said his squares are already up. Good for you, Bob. You ought to be giving those people something, Bob. All right? Filled in 8 days.
So that's what I'm talking about. And look, there are, like I was saying earlier, some people, I would use the term lightly, but may gaslight companies into believing that their business is going to be out there for wearing a hat at a cornhole tournament on 1 week, one random weekend for Worlds. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's where it's just like, it's just not honest to me. And I'm more of an honest person than that, to where I would say, hey, I'm this good at cornhole. I'm going here and I need help.
Bob says, and I don't use it for anything but travel. So I guess the question I would ask here, Bob, is if the money exceeded your travel expenses, where would the money go?
It would be the travel. There's no way it exceeds travel
expenses. But if somebody's doing an unlimited square amount, right, and did receive enough money to fund more, I mean, are we doing something, I don't know what the word would be, something, what's the word? It starts with an A, where you do it without.
Bob said never will.
Yeah, never will.
It's like 50, and that's what I assume for most of it. It's just, Bob, we got the comment here. Why are people becoming beggars and asking for money to play the game that they love?
Yeah, it was a comment from somebody else. Like me, Bill, and I don't love to even have this conversation with this topic.
No,
like you said, not this again. But if somebody's going to ask about it, we kind of wanted to dive into it, and we think people should do whatever they'd like, as long as they aren't harming themselves or others. I think me and Bill kind of stand similar there on that moral ground, right?
Bob, if I see you at Worlds, come talk to me on the side, and we'll talk about this. We'll talk about... I could have started a finance podcast. We will talk about this, Bob. We will. And you'll see exactly... the track that people can be on, no matter what their situation is, what I believe. That's all.
Yep. 1,000 covers travel, not begging for money just helps. Yeah, the term begging is kind of what
it's loaded, I would say it's a loaded, it's definitely a loaded word for something like that. I agree with you on something like that. But
Bob, we're begging for syrup out here. I mean, we'll pay. If the squares are for syrup, we probably would have been in.
Yeah, how many bottles do we get for every $20?
Scotty's doing hot sauce, and he's also doing, I think, $5 for a mile. I would,
I don't consider that bad. I mean, they're telling their story and they're trying to get something out of it. If Scotty is selling hot sauce, he's providing a service for somebody. You know what I mean? He's saying, hey, I got this awesome hot sauce. If you want to buy it this year, blah, blah, blah. Right. This is what it is going to you. And that's like the puff piece that's enticing people to be like, hey, this is a good person, plus I'm getting something out of it. Let me give this guy some money.
Right, and I think what Dennis is talking about, and if we were to speak to Dennis about this, I think he would agree that the only time that we think it's, you ought not do this is if there's no return for the people donating the money. Right?
I hope so.
But I guess even if there are people that feel they are in a well enough spot off to help others gain happiness, it's not something I want to deter. I don't want to say you shouldn't help people out, because I don't think they should be asking for money.
If somebody wants to help out, and that is their main objective, is to help somebody else out because they see something in that, great for you. That's awesome.
Right.
I'll Dennis, if you run a club or if you're at a club a couple months prior to Worlds, consider asking the person who runs the club, or if you do it, setting aside 10% of every tournament that's played and having everybody agree on this, which isn't that big of a deal. You just say, hey, instead of 80% payout, we're doing 70, and send one person from your club to Worlds based upon that. Like, like whoever you guys think has the best chance, best opportunity. That's fine. That's one way you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Another way you can do it, start a league. Everybody buys into the league. Whoever wins at the end of the season, at the end of the league, gets the pot, and that pot is to send somebody to Worlds that buys their ticket. This and that. There are many ways, and poker has really established this more than anybody else. They have satellite tournaments, all sit and goes, all sorts of things to send people to bigger tournaments, but you have to win that tournament. And that's what I would say, if you're in an area that, because you're not gonna sit there and tell me a 14-year-old that parents don't play cornhole that can't make it to Worlds because they don't have the money to make it to Worlds shouldn't be helped out to get to Worlds. Right. And that's an extreme situation.
Yeah.
There are not many juniors, and I give your comment the most validity possible. But there are situations similar to that one specifically that maybe this 14-year-old can smoke everybody at a club and raise enough money to get to Worlds. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he said down here, if you can't afford it, then don't play. And I don't know. This is, I don't know what you call this kind of argument. But I don't think if people are willing to help other people, there's no reason to negatively attack them. In my opinion, and I may have changed my stance on this over the years. I've become a lot kinder, over the last couple of years. So I think you talked to me about this 2 years ago. I say, get the crap out of here. If you can't pay for it, I don't care about you. I think that's probably how I speak.
Okay, so if you want to know my inner thoughts on something like this, personal responsibility. If you're a grown-ass man, right? If you are responsible for yourself and your family, and you have a family, and you have everything that you have, personal finances are one of the pillars that you need for that family. You know what I mean? And that's something that needs to happen. And if you're not providing anything, and what he's saying is begging for money online, like a certain situation to where you're just sitting there like, hey, I got to get to this place. You know what I mean? I got to go here and throw. Could you be doing something else for money at that point in time?
Most likely.
Like when is Worlds? When is Worlds every year?
Yeah.
I can go out and wash a freaking car a weekend and have enough money to get to Worlds by next year.
Yep.
And that's me personally. Like if you want to make it happen for yourself throughout that specific year, if no emergencies and this and that has happened, you can do that. And that's one of the pillars.
Is your stance that this is somewhat a lazy way of earning the money?
I'm saying that. So
I'm not trying to, make these people sound terrible, but it sounds like, and I would somewhat agree with, that you should have, you ought to earn it yourself.
No. I would just say plan. I would say take the personal responsibility and plan. The personal responsibility meaning I don't have enough money to make it, so I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? Or the foresight and planning to say, hey, I planned to do this all year, so I'm going to go. Or maybe you get to that point and say, oh man, I got $5,000 saved at this point. I'm not going to go. I'm just going to save this money. There are numerous things that you could do at that point. But we know when Worlds is every year.
Yeah, we do.
Like I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you had, I'm not. If you ate out, 25 times that year, that's Worlds.
Right. Eric Moore's coming in here just solidifying.
I don't know what's more important.
You can make $40 to $80 a night doing DoorDash. Ask me how I know, so I can make it to Worlds.
That's what that is my personal stance on stuff like that. I could go into it forever on something. Like I said, I was. You know this about me. I was in the freaking army. There are many people that got out of the army, had the exact same job as me, had the exact same everything as me. And there are many people that are in a place to where if they were in the cornhole and had to go to Worlds, they would go online and ask a bunch of people to help them without giving something in return.
Right.
You know,
I mean, here's
we'll
Bob saying, you guys know what majors cost through the year, asking
100%.
Yeah, and I think that, but Bob, with what you're saying here, you're also saying is what you're trying to say is it's been impossible to save the money throughout the year because of the major costs. And I think that the easy rebuttal for that is let me look at your lifestyle. If you're telling me there are 0 sacrifices you can make to save the money, then I'll agree with you, right? But I don't think that's the case for most people, right? I mean, you could be eating fast food, you could be ordering DoorDash, you could be drinking alcohol, you could be buying material things, right? I mean, there are multiple things that we do in our daily life that could probably be considered unnecessary or splurgeful, right? That if you didn't do these things, you would save enough money along with all the majors throughout the year.
That is most of that finance that I'm talking about the personal finance is like, dude, I read finance literally from morning until night almost every day. Dylan knows this about me. I went to college for accounting. Like I love personal finance. I love this. This is my kind of big topic, and I'm a firm believer that anybody can make a ton of money or save a ton of money over time. Over time,
if you're willing,
right? It can, if you want to make those like he is with working out, the lifestyle changes to be the healthier person on the inside. To do something like that, you have to work out, like he says, or I mean that is your spiel with it, right? I like
you have to make sacrifices for rewards,
and mine is a sacrifice for that personal finance. That is
right.
Me.
Bill, if you guys don't know, Bill drives a very cheap car. Bill wears the same clothes. Like, I mean, because you want to have other financial freedoms, right?
I do.
Right. So you don't drive. Do you have enough money, Bill, to buy a new truck every year? We could say yes, right? You don't do that. You sacrifice what we could call looking cool or having a material.
What you said about my clothes, the funniest thing is last week I had a pair of shorts that I had a scratch on my leg and I scratched it and the shorts ripped. My literal shorts right here ripped, and I took them out. I had to change, you know what I mean? And I showed my wife, and I'm like, well, we got these 12 years ago. And they finally broke down. Yep. That was 12 years ago. Those shorts, still wearing them every day. Anyway, I'm not expecting anybody to go to an extreme like that whatsoever. I don't want to get to anything like that. But I promise there's a path.
Yeah. Shannon, Bill covered this. We planned for it, but it does add up over the year. People are willing to sponsor. They get cheap advertising. People are willing to risk $20 to get back more. I don't see the problem. Bill said that if it is for a sponsor and then there is a possible return on investment, that is a risk that a company is willing to take, and he agrees that if you are providing a service to the company, then it's a different story. I think what Dennis is talking about, and some of what we're touching on right now.
Yeah, we think what Dennis is talking about is posting online saying, hey, I'm going to Worlds, it's expensive, here's my Venmo. And that's that. I believe that's what Dennis is talking about, not what you're talking about, which is where you buy squares and maybe 50% goes to people that had bought squares. You're giving a service. People know what they're buying into. It's a gamble is what those people are doing, which is great. Like Scotty Ball, we talked about that. He is making barbecue sauce for people to sell his specific brand of barbecue sauce to help him get to work. I think that is great. I'll buy some of his barbecue. I like that. I think that's great. Any type of service that you provide or something that you're giving to somebody for the money that they're paying you while you're making the profit to be able to get to Worlds, I think it's wonderful. I think going online and saying, hey, I'm going to Worlds, here's my Venmo. That is what Dennis was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tough argument in the in-between is the square boards, right? Because there are probably one or two people that are going to have a return on that, right? A gamble's chance on getting some money. So you could claim that the person putting up the board, their service is providing somebody with a return, right? Is that possible?
It is. Right. No. I mean, that's 100%. It, like I said, it was a gamble. People know the odds when they buy a square. You know, and you know something, and that's fine.
Well, I mean, it's hard to nail down exactly what Bill and I are saying, but we think the more virtuous route to do this is to make a sacrifice, likely in your life, somewhere in your personal finances, to save the money so that, I guess you could say, you could save face not posting a square board, right? And getting the possible, like I said, Bill and I aren't demonizing the square boards, right? But there are people that are demonizing the square boards. And if you don't have to do that, you won't receive any of that negativity. And whether you could say, I don't care about the haters or not, inside, you probably do a little bit, you know, and you don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear negativity, right? Yeah. So to put yourself in a situation where you could receive negativity, I don't think is something people want to do, you know? That's my opinion on it. And then, like I said, the square boards, I think, are the ones that Dennis is probably referring to.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't say it's scoreboards or not. What I would say is I would hope anyway that Dennis is not talking about the scoreboards. Again, you can calculate the odds very simple with a scoreboard because 50% goes to the people that are running it and 50% goes to the winner. That's what it is. It's very easy to calculate with how many squares that they have and what your chance is to win that specific thing. And if people are okay with that, people are okay with that. That's it. What I'm talking about is the people that write, hey, this is my Venmo, you know, maybe you write it on the back of your car. My Venmo, I'm trying to go to Cornhole Worlds. Send me money.
Yeah, I mean, there was...
I believe that's who Dennis is talking about in this. I don't know. He's not here.
Yeah, I mean, there was an instance where Jeremiah Ellis posted that beers were expensive, send me money. The guy, from what I know, received over $1,000, right? There was no return on the investment at all. He was just an influencer in the cornhole world at the time, right? And took advantage of that, right? Do Bill and I think that that's a virtuous thing to do? I think we can agree probably not.
Not if he had money to pay for it.
Did it work? Yes, right? We're not saying that it doesn't work, right? But to exploit things that we believe aren't virtuous is something that we will have an open conversation about and somewhat battle against. But these are just our virtues.
I could get into this.
I know, yeah. Both of us could.
But I'm not going to. I don't. You want to talk to me personally online at a major or something like that? Continue this conversation. I promise you, I want nothing more than to continue this conversation. Because I love this conversation. This is what I studied for in college. This is what I've lived my entire life. Honestly, you want to talk, please talk to me at a major. Say, hey, Bill, you remember that conversation we were having about this and that? Let's talk about it because this is what I think. And trust me, I'll engage. You may not be able to go home that night. I'll talk so much on this specific subject because I love it so much. And I don't get mad over a debate. I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm still going to love you. I'm still going to, everything like that. But I will sit there and I will have a conversation. And I hope you don't hate me after the conversation. That's all.
Yeah. And that's something that I want you guys to always take away from arguments that Bill and I have or maybe opinions that aren't the same as yours. We are never arguing with you as a person. We never feel any animosity towards anybody as a person, but we may disagree with the action, opinion, or thought of you, but it doesn't take away how we feel about you as a person. Bill and I have usually a fairly, what you would call heated debate, probably once a week, right, Bill, where we disagree on something. We walk away.
People think we hate each other.
Yeah. Derek tried to get in the middle of it, right? Yesterday, or was it 2 days? Yesterday or 2 days ago, me and Bill were in a conversation about alcohol and my stance and his stance, and you could. I don't think it was heated, but you could. We were arguing.
I don't think it was heated.
We were having a debate.
That's kind of a difference between a lot of people. Like you and I can talk some things. And then the next day show up and be like, all right, what's on the docket to do today? And not care.
Minutes later, we play cornhole.
Care. It doesn't matter to me. It never matters. It's a discussion. I believe my way, and I'm telling you the way that I believe. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you respect it or if you don't respect it. It doesn't matter to me.
Right.
You tell me the way you believe. If I don't respect it, hopefully it doesn't bother you so much. It is what it is. At the end of the day, we're both people. We can live our own lives. We can do whatever we want. That is what it is.
Right.
And it's fine.
And Ricky, I mean, great comment from Ricky. We are not the ones to judge. We have a higher power to judge on what we do. Absolutely. And that's what it comes down to. As much as we can form opinions, you can express your opinions all you want, and you can exercise your free will that God's given us. And Bill and I 100% agree that people should do that. Regardless of what your opinions are, we believe you should be able to state them, back them up, have long conversations about them. We just don't want you to...
If I don't agree with it, don't feel like I don't love
like
you.
Right.
It doesn't... honestly... Like, you're going to tell me your piece and you don't want me to respect. If you want me to just listen, say, hey, Bill, I want you to just listen to my thoughts on this and I don't want you to respect. And I'll do that too. It doesn't matter. It would be tough for me, but it's fun. I'm still going to love you the same amount. It's not going to bother me so bad to where I'm going to hate somebody over their beliefs. Like that's crazy to me.
Right.
I'll never do it. I don't know. I won't do it. It doesn't matter to me.
So what Bill and I believe are morally right or virtuous or not virtuous is does not have to align with yours to love each other. Like we really believe that.
But if you're gonna tell me and you don't put the caveat on, hey, don't tell me what you think about this.
You might be.
I will tell you what I think about it. And
like
if you hate me because of that, I'm sorry you do. I don't hate you. I promise you.
Yeah, I would even say, please just don't hate me for that. Like I said, and Bill knows that I have been known to have conversations with people on Facebook that have differing opinions of me. These people become hateful of me while I'm not hateful of them at all, you know? And it's a product, I guess, of having conversations that people are uncomfortable with. Or challenging people's opinions, right? Challenging people's opinions has become somehow negative to some individuals. And like I said, when Bill and I challenge each other's opinions on things or stances on things, it does not change the way we feel about each other at all. Literally zero.
In the moment, we may talk a little higher. We may be a little more passionate, a little more in the moment. But after the conversation's over, let's go throw some bags.
Right, because we're passionate about our stance, not about hating somebody. I think that's what gets misconstrued, is like people become hateful towards the person because of their opinion, and that's a terrible way to live, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
You decide to separate yourself or divide yourself from people with differing opinions, you will become hateful, you know, and it's going to result terribly on you. Yeah, Bob said syrup is $500, cash only. Oh, man.
Bob. Okay. All right, Bob. We'll see you at Worlds.
Bob, just put up some more squares so you can pay for your house. That was such a neat
dude.
That was bad.
What is he doing?
That was bad.
He's just messing.
Justin, application deadlines for Team CBC. They'll be through Worlds, so we'll say they'll close. What is that? July 27th or something like that.
So Justin, August, I believe. 15th to 20th, right around there. I'd say 20. We got to come up with a deadline that if you're not called, that's what it is.
I get it.
He's calling you a dick?
Hey, Bob, still love you. Still love you.
Still love you, Bob.
Keep those boards rolling, son. Keep those squares full, man.
Bob, I can't wait to see you, man.
Hey, thanks tonight, guys, for a great talk, man. We really appreciate all the comments. Yeah, this is one of the better times we've had on here, and we've got a lot more to get to, and I like having the open discussions. Bill and I are big fans of open discussions, debates, and, you know, really just talking to you guys about everything cornhole, maybe even some finance, maybe even some fitness, maybe who knows what, right? But we just appreciate you guys tuning in here. CBC Down and Back Podcast, the one and only CBC Down and Back Podcast. Thank you. Hey,
this guy.
Till next week.
This guy. Hey, next week, World's Edition. Show up.
Faith, family, 4 baggers.
Out.